Everybody, you were just snoring away. Hey, good morning. 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. Hope you're doing well. I slept in. I was up late. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Here comes Bubbles. Hey, Bubbles, come here, Bubbles. There you go. There's the cat. Hey, you want to sit here? Oh. Anyway, good morning. 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. I am Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach. And I got a kitty. Hey, kitty. Say hi. And on the show, we talk about Scrum and Agile in a practical and tactical way. Today, I want to talk about trust. I put a poll out there on LinkedIn earlier. It just closed out the other day because I want to go over some of the results and why I put the poll out there and some thoughts that I see when I coach enterprise teams. The thought process behind some of the stuff I see that may or may not work. So we're going to talk about that. So we're going to talk about a polling of trust in this episode. And again, I'm Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach, 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. We try to get ideas of how to bring value to the customer so that we don't work crazy hours to get that value to the customer. We get you home to family and friends and have a little fun as there's a little girl, cattail. She's rolling all over the dog. She's liking her dog right now. You miss Cookie, don't you? I know. We used to have a big 145-pound dog. That was Bubbles' buddy. Anyway, so let's talk about the poll. So I got the data. I'm going to talk about poll. So I took the poll, and I'll go through the numbers for the podcast too. So I asked, there's two surveys go out because in LinkedIn you can only do one poll at a time. So I had two different surveys. One was how long should it take to gain trust for a team? And then the other poll was how long it actually take to gain trust for the team. Because I wanted the difference between should and actual. Now, there's a lot of nuances in there. There's some great feedback on the poll. I probably can make a whole bunch of shows based on the responses to the poll questions and why trust and this and that and the differences. So I might take some of that information and make that into shows as we go. But, okay, so let's look at should. We'll do should first. Because the reason why I did should, how many times you get in an engagement? Like when I had one job they wanted to hire me for, and they said it was for a 3-month. And I'm like, what are you going to get done in 3 months? I said, it's not enough time to really do anything in 3 months with the way people changing thought process and all that. I got them to make it to a 6-month thing, and I left a little bit before 6 months because I can tell you a story, but I won't tell stories. But anyway, but I was like, what are you going to do in 3 months? And this is why I did the should versus actual, because it was really important. I wanted to see what they said. So for 2 weeks, 7% of the pollers 2 weeks to gain trust for the team. Okay. It must be awesome. 1 month was 18%. Okay. And then I went to 3 months, and that was, hold on. I messed this up. Oh, no, you know what? I messed this up. Let's look at the actuals. Okay, should. 2 weeks, 9%. 1 month, 24%. 3 months, 46%. 6 months, 20%. And that's with the poll of 207 votes. My Bubbles. And about 8,700 people saw the posting. So 8K views. Yeah. Maybe I put, 20%. I got 8K views. 200 votes. 8,000 people saw that. Okay. Now the actuals, right? So the actuals, Bubbles, actuals I got 7%. 1 month, 18%. 3 months, 44%. and 6 months was 30%. So, and that poll had 148 votes. So it's not a bad thing. And about 7,000, almost 8,000, 7,900, 7.9K views. So, what is this kind of, I don't know, you could read into a bunch of things. One, I think people think 66% should be within the 3 months to 6 months, a longer trail. But I like this one. The 6 months, 20%. People think only 20% of teams should take, 20% of people think it should take 6 months to gain trust. Actual is 30%. That's a whole 10% more. And these smaller numbers are really interesting, where people think it should take less than 1 month to get trust factor, right? So this is actually a total of should is like, if you put the two together, you got like 33%. The actual on that number is 25%. So it's it's almost at 10%. So it's taken about 10% longer than to actually get trust than people think it should take. So when you're basing your numbers and your thought process on your project, and you have this kind of data, it gives you an idea what's going on. I wanted to do a broad base. I just want to make a broad question. There's lots of nuances to it. Yes, I did want to go nuances because management doesn't go into nuances. Those are the Agile accounts. So it's off by about 10%. So the numbers, whatever way you look at it, if you think it should be quicker, 10% of it's going to be slower. If you think it's going to take, quicker than this, it's actually 10% longer. Right? It's interesting how the 3 months is pretty much the same. So there is some notion that it should take 3 months, and it kind of does take 3 months. A bulk of the action are in that range. But anything less than 3 months, it actually does. It takes longer to do it. And why? And one of the other reasons I wanted to talk about that, and we're going to talk about how to gain trust. So I want to give two things. One, I want to say one way of gaining trust. I kind of talked about it before, but I'm going to talk about it again. And two, one other observation. This constant switching of teams, right? If it's going to take you, and you have a project and you have stuff coming in, right? If it's going to take you 3 to 6 months to gain trust of the team, and you're just switching teams around, people around, you mess up that trust factor. By throwing people into the pot, you may have to go through that whole 3 to 6 month process over again. And this is what people don't think about. Management doesn't know. That's why I did this chart, and I'll put posts up. I got to put a post on it. This one's got to be a good post. But this is something we got to think about, right? So when management drops people in to a team, you can have a 3 to 6 month extension of the trust factor to get those people in. It could take a while. It does. It actually does, right? So that's one of the factors. Think about that and jobs. So next time they offer you a 3-month contract, you got to say, well, wait. I just did a poll. It takes 3 to 6 months to just gain trust. If I'm going to change them what they're going to do, at least they need to be 6 months to a year, because it could take a while for your enterprise to transform. And if they don't understand that, you can show them the poll results. It's kind of why I did it. It's better. It's empirical data, right? Kind of. It's a subjective question, but it is data. The last thing I wanted to mention about gaining trust, what I see a lot of Scrum Masters do is they talk about me. Even I did I kind of asked the same question the other day at the Agile Online Summit. We were in a little breakout group, and we talked about trust, and apparently I'm disagreeing with Linda, though I'm not. Like, if you go, and I think we did that the other day, but as an Agile coach or Scrum Master, are you more worried about what you do as an individual, or are you getting more of the team to buy in quicker? So if you're in there at first saying, hey, do it, I think we should start the meetings at 9. I think we should do this. I think we should do that. And you can say I'm doing the I, and you do a lot of I stuff. I think this. I think this. I see, this is what I think we should do. This is what I think the solution is. That trust factor is going to take longer, right? The sooner you get into, well, what do you all want to do? What do you want as a team? And you facilitate the discussion, I believe the trust gets done quicker, right? Because now they're forming their own system. And the more you can get them to feel like they are in control, we're all not. By the way, no one's in control of anything anymore, or in the past, in the future. The quicker you can gain their trust. So I just wanted to share that with you. Is like when you do it, get them to contribute to the solution. And if it's just one person in the group who's given all the answers, like a tech lead or a product owner or Scrum Master, say, here's the task. Here's what we need to do to solve a problem. Here's your work. You ever heard that one? Greg, you do this. You're good at this. You do this. I'm going to give this to you, and I'm going to give that to you. Listen to what I'm saying. And I'm going to give that to you, and you're going to take that, and you're going to take that. That is the quickest way to break that trust, to extend that trust to the full 6 months. When you get in and say, okay, who can do this? And someone volunteers, now you're getting them to own it and trust it, because now instead of them saying who gets what, it's I'll take that. And when that works, you gain a trust factor. How many teams do you see when the tech leads and the managers decide who's going to do what work on what stories? Pretty much a lot, right? Some of the good teams, I bet you the good teams, if they really, one, they got to be really open. In this round, they got to be open to change. 2, willing to take on and help orchestrate. Maybe they work together, maybe not, to get into the 2 week to 1 month. We're talking very little, like 20% of the teams are out there within 1 month, right? Those are really in there. So just want to share that again with you. So the should and the actual, it's taking about 10% longer based on just the number of votes to get to where they trust each other and they trust you as a Scrum Master. It could be each other. It could be Scrum Master. It was kind of a broad, when you get team trust. And I didn't say about with the Scrum Master or the team or management. It could be a little mixed, but 10% longer. All right. That's what I have for today. Hope you do well. Hope you have fun. Please give us a thumbs up if you like the show. We are only 100. Last night when I posted, we were only 130 downloads of our podcast, away from having 10,000 downloads for the podcast. And that would be awesome. So if you want to share the video, let them know we have a podcast. Say, hey, the Greg's got a 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show's got a podcast. They're almost at 10,000. See what you could do to help them out before the end of the month, because that would be pretty cool to hit that in the month of October, the 10,000 mark. I think we're pretty close. I think we can do it. Just need a little bump up in sharing and people to listen and download the podcast. So anything you can help, be awesome and appreciated. And I want to say thank you for all your support and all the podcast downloads. You guys, you're all awesome, by the way. It's fun. It's fun doing this. All right, take care. Have a great day, and see you tomorrow.